See, it takes a second.
All right.
All right, you get two of us today. It's going to be an interesting meeting today. So, hi guys. For those of you that don't know, this is Tyler. He's managing broker. I think most of you guys have talked to him. I don't know, but I wanted you guys to meet him because he's up here anyways today. So I figured actually make him be on camera rather than over there not paying attention. Because one of the things I really want to stress is if you can't get a hold of me, or if you have a question that you want an immediate answer to, this is your backup. This is a managing broker. You can call him, you can get information, you can hound him all you want. I'm going to put his phone number in the chat again, because I really want you guys to feel like you can call, because I think sometimes people don't feel like they don't want to bother him or whatever it is, because I have gotten definitely inundated lately with questions, and we are actually going to go over that today. And one of the reasons I wanted him here was to get another input on multiple offer situations. You guys, the East Side right now is freaking crazy. Like, not a little bit of activity, not, oh, you might get multiple offers. I mean, we're talking like 30, 40 offers right now on East Side listings is standard. Things are going between 100 and, I've seen up to 150 on like a $700,000 listing that they've gone above list price. So just be prepared, because it's not just about the offer price. I know everybody thinks, oh, highest and best means the highest offer gets it. No, it doesn't. So as a listing broker, I definitely wanted to kind of review with you guys that it is not just about the offer price. There's a lot more that goes into it than just that. You have to look at financing. Is it cash or is it financed? If it's financed, have the clients, the buyers, been underwritten? These are all things that a listing broker should be looking at. The person who did the financing should be in contact with the listing broker. You should be in contact with the listing broker. I can't tell you how many times I say, have you talked to the listing agent? Have you talked to the listing broker? Because the most important thing is your rapport with the listing broker. You want to call them. You want to talk to them. You want to see what their client is looking for. Are they looking for a rent back? Are they looking at a certain closing date? What do they need, right? Because that's the most important thing. To some sellers, it may not be, oh, I want to have the highest offer. It may be, oh, I want to have a rent back for 3 or 4 weeks, or I want earnest money release so I can pay for movers. Or, I mean, there's so many different and ors when it comes to multiple offer situations. So the person that you need to be talking to is the listing broker. 100%. You want to put your best foot forward when you're talking to the listing broker, but you want to find out, what does the seller want?
And especially when you guys are writing these offers, your first person that you should be contacting is the listing agent. Of how should I write this offer? Is there other cash offers currently on the table? Is writing a financed offer even worth my client's time right now?
Mm-hmm.
What would they be open if we were to waive any appraisal contingency and use the additional down payment for that? What really matters most to those sellers? And don't be afraid to ask the listing agent these questions. Like, a lot of times people might feel like they don't want to ask these questions because they think that the other agent is going to think that they're new and doesn't know how to write an offer or whatever it might be. But that's not the case. The listing agent, the more communication that you're going to have with the listing agent, the better chances that your offer are going to get accepted. Because even if they don't release information directly to you, there's still information being released. You know what I mean? So they might not tell you exactly what to write, but you can still pull out some little bit of information, and you can feed that back to your clients. You know, let them know, hey, this listing agent isn't giving me any information. They're sticking to the review date. They're not looking at offers until the review date, or whatever it might be. Like, you're going to get the most information to help you and your client win that offer directly from the listing agent who holds the listing, because the listing agent is there to advise the sellers. They're the first person in line, and the sellers are going to listen to what their listing agent advises them. And if they're advising their client that, hey, this is a really strong offer, but I have had no communication with this broker, I don't know who these buyers are, we have the pre-approval, but you know, the lender hasn't reached out to me, I don't know if they're fully pre-approved and underwritten, I don't know how long it's going to take for them to close, and we have this other cash offer that's, you know, it might be $25,000 less, but it's guaranteed. I've worked with this agent in the past. We have great communication. She's been calling me 3-4 times a day just to make sure that everything is, you know, coming together, seeing if there's any other offers or anything like that. So I just can't stress communication to the listing agent enough. That's ultimately what's going to get your offers accepted and give you the best chance to not spin your wheels writing contracts and submitting over and over and over, wondering why your offers aren't getting accepted. It's because you need to have that communication and build that rapport with the listing agent. It's just as important, if not more important, than the rapport that you're building with your clients. So just remember that the listing agent is always the first person that you need to call. Don't call us first about how to write the offer. Call the listing agent, get as much information from them as you possibly can. And if you have more questions after that, then call us.
Because that's always my first question is, well, what did the listing broker say? Because I don't represent that seller. Guys, unless I am the listing agent, call me first, okay? But, you know, I really want you guys to get used to calling and saying, hey, you know, what is it that you're looking for? What's going to make my offer the best? Because if they need a rent back, if they need, you know, just different things that they may need, let's say fastest close, they're going to go with cash no matter what. So I'm sorry, Pavel is just cracking me up. I wish I could like turn it. So anyways,
somebody's 50th birthday.
Yeah.
So anyways, sorry.
40 years from now.
Really? Anyways, so
this isn't a real mustache. It's actually
it's
a
good
sticker.
to get some laughs in because we're talking about a serious topic.
Is this the
Yeah.
Tyler? Wait, before you tell us about that, is this the Tyler that wrote 25 offers last year?
No, he closed 24 offers his first year, but that was 6 years ago.
And
So his first year in real estate, yeah, he closed 24 deals.
any guidance about that for us? How you did that?
Well, I had a really big lead database to work with. They're all old and expired, but I called the list every day. I was calling canceled and expireds every day. The market was a lot slower back, you know, in 2015 when I originally got licensed. So there wasn't that, you know, like there was a lot more canceled and expireds on the market back then. There was not this, you list it and it's a turd on the market and it sells for 10% over asking price. That that wasn't
Hey, why
the thing
you
back
gotta
then.
talk about Burien like that?
It was a different market then, but the same, you know, things still apply. It's just finding that niche that works for you, for me, it was just on the phones. I was on the phones every day, and I just had a natural ability to kind of keep a conversation going versus a lot of people just taking no as an answer. I would always carry on the conversation and focus on building that rapport with people over the phone, and then just going in to set the appointment. I mean, once you kind of, a lot of people will, and I'm guilty of it too, especially more recently, is a lot of people will get a lead and then they'll get their requirements of, what they're looking for. They'll put them in the MLS and put them on an auto search and just black out until they contact them again, or they favorite something, or whatever it might be. And the best way to do it, the best way to retain that client, is to get a face-to-face meeting, set a coffee date, really sit down and get to know them, because there's not the same trust that can be built over the phone as there can be sitting down face to face, just for 20-30 minutes. Get to actually know the person on a human level instead of just looking at them as another paycheck. People see through that kind of stuff, and just having the confidence as well that, we don't know all the answers. We're all human. We don't have it all. We don't have that capacity to store it in the brain, but just reassuring your clients, like, I have a team of people. I know where to go to get any answers. So if you have anything, please don't be afraid to ask me. If I don't know it, I'll let you know, and I'll get back to you with the answers as soon as I can. Just the simple foundation stuff. So yeah. Another thing that I've told other brokers too is that it helps to be a naturally annoying person because
how about someone who doesn't give up and
Sure,
keeps trying,
right.
like rather than naturally
Right.
annoying? I think as someone who just has great follow-up skills, or someone that doesn't give up easily,
Yeah.
it sounds a little better than naturally
What I guess I'm
annoying.
trying to say is it might feel annoying to do proper follow-up, but that's what's ultimately going to earn the respect of the client and keep you top of mind when they are ready to buy that home. Because it just takes one day of somebody, saying, hey, I have a friend that's a real estate agent, and they call him up, and now they're working with another broker. So consistent follow-up and just building that rapport.
And the other thing is, before you take any clients out to look at houses, get them fully underwritten with their lender. If you have a lender that won't underwrite without a property, find a new lender. Because right now, if they are not fully approved and only subject to appraisal and title, so it's all based on the house, then you're dead in the water. Because listing brokers are absolutely checking with lenders, and you want to have your lender contact them. So you also want a lender who's willing to make that phone call to really pitch your client. Because when they know they've got a broker who's committed to getting it sold, and they also have a lender who's committed to getting it sold, much better way to go about it is to continue to move forward. And I'm trying not to be distracted right now. And Masha's there filming. I'm like, everyone in the office is killing me today. So anyways, those are the things that you want to make sure that you're doing to put your client's best foot forward. The other thing is, if they are insisting on getting an inspection, you can't do offer subject to inspection in a 30 or 40 offer situation. You really need to get it either pre-inspected or waive inspection. And I know a lot of people don't want to waive inspection. So if you don't want to waive inspection, get a pre-inspection done. Those are the things that you need to do as a buyer's broker to make sure that your offer is as clean and precise as possible. There's a lot of things that are on our offer that right now you don't need to necessarily put in, like the 22T. Yes, the title commitment's great. You've even gotten somebody out of a contract on a 22T, if I remember correctly. But right now, the cleaner the offer, the better. And you need to have that conversation with the clients. Hey, if you write this offer and it gets signed around, you're in contract. You need to make sure that you're explaining to your clients that, hey, I'm not writing an offer where there's a ton of ways to get you out of the contract because we're just not in that environment. So if they are clear on that and they're clear on the financing and they're clear on everything that's going to happen, make sure you're providing them with the buyer's packet. If you guys aren't using the buyer's packet on Brokerment, start using it. You want to explain to them the market continually. Update them, say, hey, we still have 2 weeks of inventory right now, guys. This is becoming an even hotter seller's market because all the people that weren't able to get in contract for the last 3 weeks are now fighting over these small number of listings that are available.
And remember, when you guys are doing this too, when you're talking with your buyers, that you are their advisor. So you need to have a plan basically ready to present to your buyers on how to write the best offer and why writing it that way is the best way to write it in order to get their offer accepted, because that's just going to eliminate a lot of the headache and tedious question asking, all of that stuff. Lay out all of their options for them. You know, you can let them know, hey, we can have the inspection contingency in here, but the chances of them accepting our offer with this contingency goes down significantly, like 50% or whatever it might be. Especially if you've had that conversation with the listing agent and you know that everybody else is writing the offers with a waived inspection, you pretty much can guarantee you're not going to win that offer for your client. So advising them, hey, we can do the pre-inspection, which is our best option because it gives you the knowledge of what's going on with the house, and then we can write the offer subject to whatever it might be. So yeah.
Sorry, I was letting him talk and was trying to answer emails really quick because I had people having questions. So anyways, I wanted to see kind of what's going on with you guys. What questions do you have? What have you guys been seeing in your certain markets? Really kind of what's important to you guys this week to go over?
I'm really sorry.
Condominiums are staying longer on the market than the houses.
Yes, condos are definitely not as hot as single family. That is where we've seen some standing inventory. I've seen price reductions on condos. The big thing is pricing it right the first time.
Is anybody having any troubles or need additional leads, like obtaining leads, where to
Covering
get
that
more business
tomorrow on
Of course, everyone.
that Arian's covering that tomorrow in the accelerator. So
from? Okay, well,
if you want to add something, I'm like,
I mean, one thing that I used to do back in the day was look for sold short sales, because most of the time, the owners, especially if it's an owner occupied property, their phone numbers are listed on the old listings. And when you do a short sale, you can't purchase anything for usually about 2 years, 2 to 3 years. So going back a few years and contacting those sellers and saying, you know,
have you been working towards buying a property?
my whole pitch was that, you know, I worked with a lot of short sales, and that my way of kind of giving back to the community is to contact people that have gone through short sales in the past and see if they're interested in getting into a new home again. And that really opens the door. It's a really light conversation. It doesn't make your palms all sweaty like when you're calling canceled and expired listings and they hang up on you after 10 seconds because they got 100 phone calls from agents the 2 minutes after it hit expired.
And if you look back, you know,
And it's
I'd go
buyers, not sellers.
3 to 5 years. At that point, they were sellers of a short sale, but you could even go like 3 to 7 years and just pull short sales and go and look, because their numbers are usually in there. And a lot of times they have the same phone number, but you know, a lot of times they might be scared to get into a property again, but it's a great place to find properties.
And another thing too, this might sound kind of ridiculous, but going just through your contacts list and coming up with a reason to contact these old contacts or people that you may not have spoken to a long time, and just call them and say what's up, and maybe put together like a mailing address to get everybody's address so that you can have your VAs or yourself send out mailers to people. Start creating a farm list so that you can stay top of mind. Everybody knows the old adage that it takes money to make money. So if you don't have a lot of capital to put in, it's going to be time. And that time is calling up old people. That is going to be an awkward conversation for the first 5 minutes, but they'll appreciate that you called, and you know, they'll be happy for your success and what you're doing in life. And you know, you'll be top of mind when you're sending them monthly or quarterly postcards or whatever it might be. So
Yeah, those are both really good things. Those are things I haven't talked about before. Thanks.
you're welcome.
So, you know, this is one of the reasons that I think having more people participating and on helps with calls, because it will remind me of things. You know, I don't have a picture photogenic memory and remember every little thing.
And everything works different for different people. So that's like, I tested out all kinds of different things. I personally hate licking stamps and writing addresses. But now that we have VAs to do all that kind of stuff, it's just click and print now. So, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, calling past clients, most people only stay in their house 3 to 7 years now. It used to be, you know, someone bought a house and they were there for 15, 20 years. You know, calling past clients and just reminding them, hey, it's a great time to buy. You could take your equity and parlay it towards a much bigger house, because interest rates, a lot of people are refinancing. And, you know, if you're going to keep it as a rental, refi it as a primary, then go purchase another. But if you're going to sell it anytime in the next like 3 to 4 years, I say, hey, it's a great time to do it right now, because if they're move up buyers, a lot of times the higher end, and, you know, higher end, depending what area you're talking about, could be kind of all across the board. So,
and this would be good information for you guys to put into like your farm list mailers too, you know, just a mass or cold calling or whatever it might be, that statistically people move between 3 and 7 years when they buy a new home. So, you know, just ask them if it would be okay if you stayed in touch with them over the next few years or whatever it might be, quarterly, and just so that you can earn their business when it's time for them to move again. You know, again, most people don't have that personal relationship with their realtor. So if you can get your foot in the door in that sense and start establishing that relationship over a long period of time, you will be that realtor that they call when it's time.
So just saw on chat, a mailer example, go to Breakthrough Broker. They have a ton of examples there. They've got postcards.
Google it,
Mail
Facebook
it,
it.
yeah.
There's a plethora of information and examples that you can get. Come up with your own little creative thing. It really
Yeah, but it
doesn't
helps
matter.
to not start from scratch, like to have some ideas.
Sure,
For me.
But I mean, what I'm trying to say is that if there's something unique in your community, you know, that's something going on. I mean, if there's local events that are going on, if there's Facebook groups, like you name it. I mean, you're literally creating. You're creative. You have to be a creative person in order to, you know, and again, have that confidence that what you're doing will come back to you.
Okay, we have an appraisal about, or a question about appraisals. Anyone having low appraisals come in this market? I personally have not run into that. The one deal that I am scared to death of that happening on, it is down in Aberdeen on a duplex, super low purchase price, and I am petrified by this deal. We actually had the appraiser cancel after our first extension because they were just taking forever down there, and I won't find out about the appraisal until after like January 29th. So it is what it is, and we'll see how it goes. But anybody else had any issues with low appraisals? Did your appraisal come in good in Tacoma?
Yeah, it came in 10,000 high.
Oh.
My clients
So-
were happy.
Well, you also got your clients a heck of a deal. I still don't know how he pulled that off in Tacoma, and the
didn't.
300,000.
We were gonna back out, and then they were like, "Well, what if we do everything?" And I was like, "Well, okay." It was like $30,000 of work on the house.
At the $300,000 range, which right now in Tacoma, I mean, multi offers, and he sometimes I feel like Tyler just walks around with a lucky horseshoe because I have no idea how he
Like,
gets his stuff done.
It really just helps to have that communication with the broker, and it also helps to have clients that have good financing, but also like making sure that they're fully pre-approved, that your lender is contacting the broker, like showing that you're a professional matters. I mean, I am not the most professional person. I will be the first to admit that, but I portray myself as professional when I'm doing business. So,
He's wearing a suit today.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
So-
professional today. Like,
1 out of 365.
It's true.
One of the things, Lorraine, can I ask a question?
yeah, what's up?
So one of the offers that I made for a client of mine was, everything was waived except for the appraisal part of the financing. And we are dealing with a dad that's kind of constantly butting in from California. And the last time he bought a house was 20 years ago. So
Mhm.
he was advising and the reason we lost the first deal was because of him, you can't,
Mhm.
and now he's regretting it. But now with the last offer that we made, he told his daughter that I should have never included even the appraisal. And I
So-
told her why she should have, because otherwise she would have came up. She didn't have the finances to make the difference if the
Oh,
appraisal.
she doesn't have the finances to make the
Doesn't.
difference?
And she's stuck with the amount of down payment that she wants to put down because she doesn't want her payments to be any higher. So that ties her into having the appraisal.
That's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, so I'm trying to
Um,
see if you have a savvy way around that, or can she, I mean, there's just no, that,
well, how much is she putting down? Like, let's get specific. Is it like 3%?
think about 20% more, 20% down.
Okay, so she's got some room to play because
Do it. She's adamant. She does not, because it will change her payments. And she's a teacher. So
it won't change her payment. There are programs where you can put 15% down and it doesn't have PMI. She could do like an 85, 15, right? If she needed to. And, it's literally the payment difference is going to be so minimal.
Right.
It would be like a couple dollars.
I know,
So-
I sent her to her lender, and the lender even was when we had a three-way conversation, and she did not want to go below.
Well, then if she's stuck on that, then she needs to accept she's not going to get a house in this market in certain areas. So she's going to have to change her area. If she's already lost
And
two,
what I would say, I mean, yes, the market is crazy right now. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe, I mean, there's a lot more homes coming on already onto the market, you know, so we could have a huge flood of inventory this spring and
that would be awesome.
and she can, you know, but it's just a matter of like catering to these clients. Like, is this the home that you want? Are you going to be okay with XYZ, or do you want to wait? You know, everybody has those clients. I had a client that had some random investor buddy of his tell him that he was way overpaying by like $80,000, and he didn't want. We wrote the offer, and then before they could accept it, we rescinded the offer, and now he's waiting. So it's just.
Yeah, thank you for that. I just wanted to make sure I'm not missing anything because I went.
No, you're not going crazy. It's just this market.
The second question I had is like the objection when you're trying to contact past clients and they do want to sell, but they don't want to sell because there's nothing on the market for them to buy.
What if I can find you something that's not on the market?
Yeah,
and get you into contract without the competition, and then we can sell your home.
That's a tough sale because where am I going to find that?
Well, yeah, like I said,
That's true.
It's time. It's calling people, getting those farm lists. I've done this multiple times in the past. It literally takes one client to make 10 clients. Okay. You get their criteria of what they're looking for. You send that information into your title and escrow rep or whoever and get your mailing list. Go door knocking.
You don't even have to get the mailing list anymore because door knocking you can't do right now because real estate's by appointment only.
Go get a 6-foot pole and knock on their doors.
No, you can't do that. So what you do is you go to like IVY data, and you can take the list from the title company and you can get their emails and their phone numbers. And unfortunately, like I get it, it's a pain to do it that way, but you could mail them stuff. Like I said, you can drop flyers off. You can do door hangers. You can do all different things. You're not allowed to door knock because all real estate activity has to be by appointment only. Trust me, I have read and reread and tried to find a way around it. The 6-foot pole is a great idea, but again, not appointment.
I made an appointment to go door knocking.
No, not gonna fly. I'm like, you can't sail the DOL, like, no. But so those are some things that you could do, you know, start emailing them, start calling them. There's a lot of different ways to get a hold of people. Like I said, the door hangers, you could do flyers, you know, any of that stuff that you want to do, you can do.
Thanks.
Yep. But that's a much easier way to, you know, if those of you looking for listings, that's another way to do it. Hey, I've got buyers that are looking in the area. Would you be willing to, you know, look at an offer? Would you be willing to, you know, there's lots of different things that you could do.
And just for the record too, when I closed 24 deals my first year, I was literally like eating, sleeping real estate. I lived in my office.
True story.
And I would make calls. I would wake up at like 8 a.m. because I was already in the office. I would go do my little morning routine, and then 9 a.m. to like 11 o'clock, I was just making phone calls. And then I would go show or take my lunch breaks and stuff like that, whatever it might be during the day. And then right in the evening times, as soon as people were on their way home from work, I was on the phones again from 5 to 7. And it was just every day, it was like clockwork. Like I didn't even have to think about it. And if they didn't answer, then I just put them on the list to call either the next morning or later on that evening. And almost every time I would leave a message, because eventually that person's mailbox is going to get full and they are going to hate it so much they won't be able to help themselves but to remember to call me back. Again, like
An
I said,
interesting tactic.
it helps to be naturally annoying.
I kind of go on the opposite end of that spectrum. I tend to, call 3 times and leave a message 1 time out of every 3 calls, because I guess I'm not quite as naturally annoying. I mean, I would still say I'm annoying, just not to that level. I feel like you just, you take the cake on that.
I don't know. I'm that person that takes solicitor calls and
He does.
turns it into a police investigation for 20 minutes. I don't know. I'm weird like that.
He 100% does. Like, I feel like between him and Popple, I have heard the most entertaining conversations with people just doing their job, just, making phone calls, because he does the
You
same
have to
thing.
though. I mean, it's like making phone calls is a tedious, miserable task. So you have to find a way to make it fun. Otherwise, you're just not going to do it.
Okay. So anybody else have anything? We talked about how to get your offer accepted. We talked about low appraisals, all of that fun stuff. Does anybody else have any other questions, comments?
I got a question. So I have a buyer who they have a pre-approval from Bank of America, so they want to take care of.
I would never accept an offer from a pre-approved client from Bank of America. Guaranteed a delayed closing. I mean, you can tell them. I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So at the end of the day, if that's who they want to stay with, write it. And when their offer doesn't get accepted, ask the broker. Tell them to put it in writing. I didn't want to accept this offer because I don't trust Bank of America.
Well, and not just that, explain to them that,
a Bank of America lender is not the same as a mortgage broker. A mortgage broker goes through the licensing process. They take a test and they're educated on this on a regular basis. Whereas Bank of America is literally only pushing Bank of America products, and they don't have to have their independent mortgage license. So they're not going to have the same.
Ask them how quickly they get responded to when they have a question for their mortgage person, because the listing broker could have up to, 30, 40 offers, and explain the market and say, so if they need to call and check the financing
on a Saturday,
do you immediately get responded to? On a weekend, are they going to get a response? Because if they don't get a response, our offer is not being accepted. And that's a better way, rather than, of course, how we all feel, because any of us that have ever dealt with Bank of America, I mean, I dealt with someone who had private banking through Bank of America.
Not only that, but
and it was awful.
And there's a lot of lenders out there who will rate match. So if that is
Bank
an
of
issue for them,
rates suck.
Yeah.
The reason why they're doing this, apparently Bank of America has a grant for first-time buyers, so that's
everybody.
That is a Washington bond program.
Yeah.
WABON.
It is not a Bank of America program. So that's hilarious. Bank of America is selling that as a Bank of America program, because it's not.
I mean,
could you please repeat the name of this grant?
WABON.
So
it's the down payment assistance program. Every lender has it.
Yep.
Okay.
They have to take a first time home buyer class.
Is it
blah,
different?
blah,
than-
blah, blah, blah.
Is it
They
different
get a
than Homesite
certificate.
and stuff like that? Is it different than Homesite and other organizations that are nonprofit that do the same thing?
A lot of those grants, like a lot of the like grant programs are not functioning right now. Given the environment and the lending environment and rates and everything, they are not giving those away. There used to be Heart, there used to be something Angel, there used to be a ton of them, and most of them disappeared. The one that I see most frequently is WA Bond, and that is the only one that I'm aware of. And again, I'm not a lender, you guys. Lender questions, like I brought a ton of lenders on and I'm happy to bring them back, but you want to ask your lender, right? What does this person qualify for? What is there that I can do to make their offer better?
And again, this is more information that you guys need to just jot down in your little real estate brains for when you are contacting people about, you know, did they purchase a home? Do they own a home currently? Do they know that they can buy a home with 0 down potentially?
Yeah.
You know, if you use the down payment assistance program and get their closing costs paid for, they're coming out of pocket with like $1,000 maybe.
And VA buyers, you guys, VA buyers have no mortgage insurance, 0 down. They can finance up to 103%. So find out if they're veterans. That's a huge benefit. I want to answer Angela's question. You can't build partnerships with appraisers. Don't talk to appraisers. You're not supposed to. That is why we have appraisal management companies. So you can't.
Appraisers have to be a neutral third party.
You have to have like distance between church and state. Inspectors, we've had Inspectify on before. It's a website you can go to you know, learn from inspectors.
I
depending where you are.
personally use Mountain to Sound Homes. They're my go-to inspector.
I don't use them. I don't even know who they are.
Yeah, Kellen is you just over time throughout doing transactions, you kind of, everybody has their own preferences, you know. I personally like the inspector himself and the system that he sends his reports in. Everything is just very nice and neat and easy to navigate. But everyone is different. Everybody has different prices. It's just a matter of, you know, finding somebody that you're comfortable with and can build that rapport with. And if you guys ever need any inspector references, feel free to contact us. We're happy to share those with you guys. It's definitely not a secret.
Some of my inspectors have retired, but you know.
I hated her inspectors, but that's another story.
There's lots of stories
For neither
behind
here nor there.
why you don't like that. Anyway.
May I ask a question? If I will repeat, I just joined the meeting, get something different to do. So in case if we are waiving financing contingency, and we also have like non-refundable earnest money. Like my clients asked me, like if we are waiving financing contingency, do we have any ways to save like the part of the earnest money that weren't non-refundable?
So you're talking about releasing earnest money
Partial
early,
release of
and
earnest
then-
money? I
Yes.
don't understand.
Yes, so let's say like we writing the offer like 30,000 earnest money, 10 of those are non-refundable. And like all earnest money were like early release earnest money.
Right. So, I mean, the earnest money should be returned back if the seller defaults. That's what you're concerned about, correct?
That's the only way to get it back.
Yeah, that's the only way. And
yeah.
and just write it into an addendum, just the way that you did. If seller defaults at no fault of the buyer, seller must return X dollar earnest money to buyer.
But if there is no financing contingency, do I have something like that I can
Buyers
apply to?
cannot get it back if there's no financing contingency, no inspection, like none of that. No, buyers cannot back out and get that back. The only way for them to get it back is seller default.
That's the whole point of
Yeah.
earnest money, is that they can't back out. Like they wouldn't get any of their earnest money back, even the stuff that they didn't release early. I mean, you can try and fight it, but if they default after waiving all of their contingencies and they
They lose
decide they escrow is not going to release that money back. You're going to go to mediation and you're going to lose.
Yeah. Oh,
I knew that. I just checking with you again. Maybe there is like any ways to write down in Form 34 that's like
No.
that. Okay.
No, that would make it pointless.
Sorry for
You're not
such
gonna
a
do
question.
Yeah, that would be, you're just adding a contingency at that point. So
Yeah.
it would make no sense.
So if you missed the first accelerator, you actually have missed two. So Tristan was yesterday, and I know a lot of you guys missed that, and you missed big time. It's recorded. Watch it. It is freaking amazing. Like Tristan was, oh my gosh, I was dying. Like I've been waiting for it. And so it is recorded, and I'm super excited to share it. So as soon as we get that, I think we have the whole thing recorded. It'll be sent out to those who registered for the accelerator. I think it'll also be shared.
Leverage or no?
Oh, on Facebook?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's being shared in Leverage.
It's on YouTube though, right? Or no?
Yeah, I think so. I don't share them. So when people ask me, I'm like, Masha, because she does that. It's between her and the VAs. They're the people who do all of the recordings and pass that out. Yeah, so that's where it'll come from, but it should be emailed out. I want to say the first one got emailed out. That was me going over goals. Tristan went over his daily plan and also prioritizing. And guys, it's awesome. Like he has
Sorry, is it daily, or why am I missing these? Because I'm really excited about it, but I'm getting it either too late for the email, or I didn't get it to even sign up for it. Did I sign up for it? I don't know. I know we have about 90 people that have signed up for the accelerator. And so the reminders go out to your email with each thing. So you should get an email reminder. I don't know that we're doing text reminders.
It's also posted in the
She's not on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is it daily though? Is the accelerator every day or every?
No. So we had it Friday, Tuesday. We have one tomorrow, Thursday. Then next week we have Tuesday and Thursday. Then we have Monday to close it up, I think it is.
And I would highly recommend
that schedule is emailed out that has the full days, because I don't have that.
So Masha just messaged me. She said, check your spam folder, because the whole schedule, the only reason I know the schedule is because I got it via email.
And maybe it's
so that check your spam folder and see if it's there, because it should have the whole schedule, and then it says who's doing what which day. And guys, I had more people on for my goal setting intro than Tristan had yesterday, which shocks the crap out of me, because there were over 20 different people that were on during mine. And for his, we only had like 13, 14. And I don't know, like I was super excited to hear from Tristan. Like his, because I got the actual downloaded copy. He shared it in chat of his schedule and how that works. And I was beyond excited and like, holy crap, this is awesome, because it's so different. Because I've done like Miracle Morning. I've seen what Tony Robbins does, his jumping in the ice cold pool. Like I've seen all these different things. And Tristan, it's short and like it makes sense. It's not something that's so drastic and out there. It's just like, okay, here's the steps in the morning, here's the steps in the evening. So at night before you go to bed, it's like you put this together. Then in the morning when you get up, this is how you start, and boom, schedule your day. And it's simple.
I would highly recommend too, if you guys don't have a Facebook, to get a Facebook. Not even necessarily to post. You don't even have to post anything, but just to get the access to all of the information. I mean, there's so many groups for real estate agents on Facebook that are more than happy to share their own personal experiences, how to get more leads, like just a plethora of information. And the only way that you can learn in real estate is by experience. And if you can't get those experiences personally, the next best way is to get those experiences vicariously through people on the internet. So like, you know what kind of crap shows that you can run into. Like there's just I mean, you can spend a couple hours or even half an hour in the morning and the evening just scrolling through different real estate Facebook pages and just subconsciously absorb a plethora of information
just
on
like
how to
lab
run transactions
codes
and
like the bigger ones, it's nationwide. So you see like so much going on, and people in certain areas are trying one thing and it's working over here, it's not working over there, and you just get a lot more information.
Somebody asked earlier for templates for mailers. They are posted. You can find 100 of them every day of different examples of mailers that people are shooting out. People love to share what they're doing in real estate.
They do. So anybody have anything else? Because we're getting close to time here, and I want to make sure that we get everyone that has questions a chance to ask them.
Yes, I do have another question. If we decide to give the seller the option to choose the closing date, how would I do that? Do I leave that spot?
Just
I would
asking
talk to
them.
the listing broker, because the contract has to have a date on it. Now you can put on or before, but talk to the
Okay.
listing agent.
Got it.
Absolutely, just say, hey, I want the seller to be able to pick the listing date. So if I put on or before
Closing
this
date.
date, closing. So on or before this date for closing date, would that work for your seller? Or do they have a specific date? Do they need, 3 days after inspect or after closing for possession?
Literally
What's
tell
gonna
them,
make it
like,
the
we
best?
want to accommodate your sellers as best we can.
Yeah.
Like, let them know you will basically get onto your knees to make this deal happen.
Not the advice I would give, but
I had to get onto my knee to make this deal happen.
That's true. Those who didn't know, he proposed last weekend, so this is new.
Congratulations.
Thanks. So,
You guys will look
Congratulations. Nice
amazing, and
rock.
thank you so much for your answers to my questions. They're not always like appropriate.
no worries.
It's okay. That's what we're here for.
Anybody else have anything?
Cool.
All right.
When is the wedding? When is the wedding?
Oh, it's a
I don't know.
few
At
years
some-
from now.
At some point, I don't know. Everyone keeps asking that. I'm like, guys, I'm still like trying to.
This whole decade just doesn't seem good, I don't know.
Wait, I missed that. You guys are
He's been
engaged?
hanging around me too much. He's like, oh, someday. We'll do it someday.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Congratulations. I didn't hear you saying you were engaged. Congratulations.
Yeah. I haven't posted anywhere. I haven't like said anything about it yet at all. So yeah. You guys
Thanks for
are
today.
the
Thanks
first
for today.
two. Well, Vlada knew because I asked Masha to do engagement pictures, so she knew. But anyways, anybody else? We still got like a couple questions left.
Thanks for today. That was great. Thanks. I'll go check out the accelerator.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the recordings. I missed
Awesome.
the first part.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Thank
day.
you.
All right, guys. Thanks again for taking time out of your Wednesday to learn a little bit, catch up on the market. And if anyone has anything, again, you can contact either myself or Tyler, and we're happy to answer. So have a great rest of your day and week. Bye.